San Diego Global Knowledge University.
Introduction. Hello? Welcome. Organizations in the 21st century face a world full of new technology, global connections, uncertainty, and markets that are always changing. In this kind of world, being able to quickly adjust to changes has become one of the main things that helps organizations stay competitive and keep going. But adjusting isn't just about using new technology or making things work better. It's also about how well people and groups can keep learning and turn that learning into actions that create value. From this idea comes the concept of a learning organization. This is a way of managing where learning is the main important thing to deal with the challenges around us. Learning organizations help people grow all the time, encourage sharing knowledge, make teamwork stronger, and build a shared vision that guides their decisions towards common goals. This way, learning isn't just something done alone. It becomes a part of the organization's culture and its main plan. In this chapter, we will look at the basics of organizational learning and the 5 ideas Peter Senge suggested as the foundation for creating learning organizations. We will also study how important systemic thinking, personal mastery, mental models, shared vision, and team learning are. These things help make new ideas, adapt to change, and keep getting better. We'll also look at real-world examples from organizations that show how these ideas are used and help us understand how companies turn individual knowledge into group intelligence. Finally, we will think about the role of leaders in building cultures that focus on learning. In these cultures, working together, participating, and developing people's talents are the main things that drive new ideas and long-lasting success. Understanding these ideas will help us see that the most successful organizations aren't necessarily the ones with the most resources, but those that learn the fastest, share knowledge well, and can see changes coming before their competitors. Let's begin. In a world shaped by globalization, fast tech change, and stronger competition, organizations must keep adapting. Being able to learn faster than rivals is now a key to success. It boosts innovation and helps build lasting advantages. Here we find the idea of a learning organization, a model that learns all the time, shares knowledge, and turns people's experiences into ongoing improvement and innovation. Building a learning organization is more than training staff or adding new tech. It means creating a culture that values learning, where people question what they believe, share a common vision, and see the organization as a connected system. Organizational learning happens when personal experiences become shared knowledge and change how the group understands and acts. To learn is to observe, think about what happened, try things, fix mistakes, and find new ways to respond to challenges. One influential model to understand this was proposed by Peter Senge. He names 5 core disciplines that, when combined, help build organizations that learn continuously. These disciplines work together and boost the organization's performance. Systems thinking is the discipline that ties the model together. It helps us see the organization as linked parts, not separate areas. Problems rarely have a single cause. Choices in one area affect others, sometimes only showing up later. Systems thinking means finding relationships, patterns, and structures that explain how the organization works. So we solve root causes, not just symptoms. The second discipline is personal mastery, which means each person commits to lifelong learning. An organization can only learn if its people keep growing and developing. This needs clear personal goals, willingness to see where we can improve, and a promise to keep learning. So the organization must create chances for real development, feedback, and ongoing growth. People learn mostly from experience. Theory is useful, but learning sticks when we use knowledge to solve real problems, get feedback, and reflect on results. Methods like learning by doing, simulations, and case studies help build skills by mixing knowledge, practice, and judgment for decision-making. Another key discipline is mental models. Everyone sees the world through beliefs, past experiences, and assumptions that shape decisions. Often the main barrier to learning is not lack of information but difficulty in questioning those beliefs. Smart organizations encourage critical thinking to review assumptions and open up new ways to see reality. Experience shows two people can watch the same event and reach different conclusions because they use different mental models. So building a learning organization means creating a culture where people analyze their views, compare perspectives, and are willing to change beliefs that block learning and innovation. A shared vision is the desired future that inspires, motivates, and guides group work. It's not enough to write a formal statement. A vision matters when people understand it, accept it, and help build it. Participation strengthens commitment and guides choices toward a common purpose. An effective vision looks to the future, inspires people, shows the organization's values, sets it apart, and takes the environment into account. When leaders base their actions on a shared vision, they stop just managing resources and start inspiring people with goals that boost belonging and commitment. The 5 disciplines Sangha describes work toward one goal: building organizations that learn all the time. Systems thinking helps with complexity. Personal mastery drives individual growth. Mental models support critical thinking. Shared vision guides group effort. And team learning turns personal knowledge into organizational skill. Together, they make learning a lasting advantage by improving adaptation, innovation, and growth. Learning organizations are not made only by efficient processes. Their true power appears when people share a common purpose, work together, and make choices based on values that support collective learning. In this setting, leadership moves from supervising to inspiring, developing people, and building learning-focused organizations. A vision only becomes meaningful when it stops being a formal statement and becomes a shared hope for everyone in the organization. Commitment comes not just from knowing the strategic goals, but from understanding the purpose of the work and seeing how each effort helps reach bigger goals. A clear vision shows the desired future, brings optimism, reflects values, and aligns individual efforts toward common aims. A vision can only be kept alive when shared values guide people's behavior. Each worker has personal principles that shape choices, and the organization has values that define how it relates to customers, staff, suppliers, and others. When both sets match, commitment grows, the work environment improves, and job satisfaction rises. So learning organizations don't just state values. They create spaces to talk about them so people understand, help shape, and use them every day. Organizational learning reaches its highest level when it stops depending on individual effort and becomes a shared ability. Many activities happen in cross-discipline teams, where people with different skills work together on complex problems. The team becomes the basic learning unit, letting the group view issues from many angles, share knowledge, and build solutions beyond what any one person can do. One key tool to boost team learning is dialogue. Dialogue means pausing judgment, listening closely, and building a shared understanding. Open conversations bring different views together, build trust, and turn personal knowledge into organizational learning. For this to work, a facilitator is essential. Their job isn't to make decisions for the group, but to keep the team focused, encourage balanced participation, and help people reflect on how they interact. More than running meetings, they guide collective learning and help teams become more independent over time. The move to a knowledge economy means we must rethink leadership. In the industrial era, oversight and control were common. Now organizations need leaders who guide change, build a shared vision, grow talent, and make space for people to reach their full potential. Organizational performance no longer rests only on people's skills and motivation. It also needs each person to understand their role and how their actions help reach strategic goals. When the purpose of work is clear, individual skills move in the same direction, and organizational effectiveness grows a lot. Learning organizations see innovation as a constant process. In fast markets, staying ahead means questioning current models, exploring new chances, and foreseeing customer needs. Even successful products can become out of date if the organization stops innovating. Leaders must build environments where experimenting, suggesting ideas, and learning from mistakes are part of the culture. In the knowledge economy, the main strategic resource is not buildings or money, but the knowledge people hold and the ability to share it. When knowledge flows between teams, functions, and levels, the organization strengthens its innovation and response to change. Technology should be a tool to improve communication, widen collaboration, and boost collective learning. Quality takes on a new meaning. Beyond meeting technical specs, the true test of organizational performance is customer satisfaction. Learning organizations aim to deeply understand customer needs and use that insight as a constant source of improvement and innovation. Senga's 5 disciplines reach their full power when combined with a strategic vision, learning-focused leadership, and a collaborative culture. Learning organizations don't just adapt. They learn to anticipate change by understanding the system and constantly questioning how they work. So organizational intelligence is not a final state, but a continuous process of learning, reflecting, and innovating. Learning organizations matter most when their principles show up in daily work. Organizational learning is not just a theory. It changes how people analyze problems, make decisions, and design solutions that work in fast-changing environments. Organizations that build a learning culture learn to question old habits, try new options, and turn daily experience into shared knowledge. Learning then moves beyond formal training and becomes part of all organizational activities. A main barrier to innovation is not lack of resources or tech, but stuck mental models that stop people from seeing change. Organizations often solve problems with methods that worked before, but when the context shifts, those solutions stop working. So building a learning organization means constantly reviewing practices and asking if they still meet today's needs. Organizational change starts when people stop asking only how to improve current processes and begin thinking how things would be designed from scratch. This view favors innovation and reveals improvement chances hidden under old ways of working. To know how people really learn, we must watch how they face problems, share knowledge, and build solutions in daily work. Much organizational learning comes from these everyday experiences, not only from formal training programs. Many studies show that a lot of learning happens in spontaneous chats between coworkers. Sharing experiences, talking about recent problems, and passing on good practices are very effective ways to build skills. Learning organizations strengthen these spaces with communities of practice, collaborative networks, and tools that turn personal experience into shared knowledge. Adding digital technologies is not just about automating tasks. Their main value is helping create, store, share, and use organizational knowledge. Technology connects people, improves collaboration, and lets lessons from one area help the whole organization quickly. It becomes a strategic part of organizational learning. Innovative organizations design products, services, and processes from real user needs. Instead of forcing people to adapt to technology, they create tech that fits how people work. This user focus cuts learning time, raises productivity, and improves service quality. Organizations produce huge amounts of information every day, but data alone doesn't make better choices. Value comes when information is interpreted, shared, and turned into useful knowledge for the whole organization. So learning organizations build ways to record experiences, spot good practices, and make accessible repositories that keep learning as an organizational asset. Every project, solved problem, and collected experience is a chance to grow collective knowledge. If that knowledge stays only in people's heads, the organization risks losing it when staff change. Organizational memory is about capturing, organizing, and preserving experience so learning continues and mistakes are not repeated. Innovation doesn't come only from special departments or big tech investments. It often happens when people have space to try things, share ideas, and learn from each other. So learning and innovation go hand in hand. The more you learn, the more you can innovate. This shift needs a different kind of leadership than in the industrial age. Leaders can't just watch processes. They must create places where people feel encouraged to try new ideas, question old procedures, and help build solutions. That means supporting experimentation, accepting mistakes as part of learning, and making sharing knowledge a daily habit. Organizations that learn faster gain an advantage that is hard to copy. Products in tech can be copied, but the ability to learn continuously comes from culture and how people interact. Smart organizations don't just react to change. They learn to predict it by using collective knowledge and continuous improvement. The cases we looked at show that organizational learning is not just about new tech or changing structures. It's based on a culture where people observe, share knowledge, question mental models, learn from experience, and use technology to boost collective intelligence. When these parts come together, the organization improves its ability to innovate, adapt, and build lasting advantages. Learning organizations reach their best potential when learning stops being separate and becomes a permanent part of strategy. Beyond running training courses or adding new tech, they build a culture where learning, sharing, and innovating are part of everyday work. Organizational change doesn't come from a single top-down decision. It grows when people take part in change, question their mental models, and use collective knowledge to respond better to challenges. In this model, learning is not only the job of special teams, but a shared commitment among leaders, teams, and staff. Leaders create the conditions to learn. Teams share experiences, and each person takes responsibility for growing their skills. So a learning organization does not focus only on courses, but on creating experiences to apply knowledge, solve real problems, and slowly build individual and group abilities. Learning works best when it mixes theory, practice, reflection, and feedback. Training needs can't be set only from inside the organization. Customers, competitors, the market, and tech changes keep shifting required skills. So learning must link closely to strategy and the changing environment to prepare people for new challenges. Organizational learning has the biggest impact inside work teams. Diverse experiences and knowledge let teams study problems from many angles and build more creative solutions. When best practices are shared and documented, knowledge stops belonging to just a few people and becomes an asset for the whole organization, boosting adaptation and continuous improvement. This change calls for a new view of leadership. Leaders no longer only watch activities or control resources. Their main job is to help learning, encourage participation, and create spaces where people can share ideas, try new options, and help the organization grow. Creativity can come from any level, especially from those who know the processes and talk to customers every day. Another challenge is getting past mental models formed by past experiences. Solutions that worked before can stop working when conditions change. So learning organizations encourage a culture where questioning existing assumptions is normal, and where innovation starts by seeing reality from new angles. Information technologies play a key role, not only to automate tasks, but to help create, keep, and share organizational knowledge. Digital platforms, collaborative networks, and information systems support collective learning by letting successful experiences spread quickly across the organization. Still, the deciding factor remains organizational culture. Organizations that encourage curiosity, collaboration, knowledge sharing, and continuous improvement handle uncertainty better. Those with rigid structures, poor communication, and resistance to change find it harder to adapt. Collective learning also needs a shared vision that guides individual efforts toward common goals. When people clearly understand the organization's purpose and help build its future, they become much more committed to change. Leadership strengthens this vision through steady communication, participation, and recognizing both individual and group contributions. Learning organizations are not a final state, but an ongoing process of learning, adapting, and innovating. Each change in the environment is a chance to review strategy, build skills, and find new solutions. So organizational intelligence depends less on resources and more on the ability to learn faster than the changes around it. In short, a learning organization keeps turning information into knowledge, knowledge into learning, and learning into decisions that add value. Combining systems thinking, people-focused leadership, collaboration, innovation, and a culture of continuous learning builds organizations that are more adaptable, resilient, and competitive. In a world where change is the only constant, the ability to learn together is the hardest advantage to copy and the foundation of lasting success. Conclusion. Studying smart organizations helps us understand that the main source of being competitive in today's knowledge economy isn't just about technology, buildings, or money. It's really about how well people and groups can keep learning and use that learning to create new things, adapt, and always get better. Throughout this chapter, we saw that learning in an organization is a key process that brings together individual growth and group knowledge. Peter Senge's 5 ideas, systems thinking, personal mastery, mental models, shared vision, and team learning, give us a way to understand how organizations learn to handle tricky situations, see changes coming, and respond better to what the market needs. We also looked at how building a smart organization means changing the whole culture, not just training people. Learning means questioning old ideas, sharing experiences, working better together, and seeing continuous improvement as something everyone, leaders, teams, and employees, is responsible for. In this situation, leaders stop just controlling people and start focusing on creating an environment where learning, participation, and developing human talent can happen. The examples of organizations we looked at show that companies that build a learning culture get benefits that go beyond just making more stuff. Continuous learning makes new ideas stronger, helps with making better decisions, makes it easier to adapt when things are uncertain, and turns knowledge into a key asset that can give them a lasting advantage over others. Also, technology plays a supporting role by making it easier to create, keep, and share knowledge, always serving the people and the organization's goals. All in all, the topics we covered lead us to conclude that a smart organization isn't defined by how much information it has, but by its ability to turn experience into knowledge, knowledge into group learning, and learning into actions that create value for its customers, employees, and society. In a world where change is the only constant, organizations that promote a culture of continuous learning will be better prepared to innovate, adapt to new conditions, and build lasting growth based on knowledge, teamwork, and shared leadership.
San Diego Global Knowledge University, education beyond boundaries.